Okay, so we rented this place, and we are trying to do what we are trying to do at that time. Very simple thinking is because since we cannot get blood from the young people, from the teenagers, like a 15-year-old in Taiwan, you cannot do it in Malaysia. You cannot do it in most of the countries. In Cambodia, and at that time, it's a chance that we can obtain some young blood from the that's the reason we set up the operation there. Okay, so at the same time, the Camboys published their paper and telling us that the old blood may be toxic, right? I just told you already, may be toxic. So we put together the two phenomena. So what we are trying to do at that time was just trying to use a TPE machine, use a machine like what I just showed in the slide to clean up the old blood, then re-infuse it with the 15-year-old blood. That was the plan, okay? Again, PLAN, plan. We didn't able to do it, okay? What happened is this. So we started doing this, removing the toxic material from the body. Then when I see the needle of that machine, it's a very big needle, and you need to stay there for about 3 hours, cannot move it, and it also has the risk of stroke. So I sort of back out on that plan. So we are left with the concept of re-infuse the body with a 15-year-old plasma. So we collect a couple of samples, and then we begin to ask the friends from Penn in Taiwan whether they want to infuse the plasma, and none of them, most of them, they agree in the beginning. Okay, then there will be after this they agree, they will ask two questions. One is how much, right? I tell them say something like $8,000, something like that, and then next question is where are they from, right? Okay, so I have to tell them those blood plasma are from Cambodia. So they get scared, okay? Because Cambodia has a lot of, at that time, if you Google Cambodia, there's a lot of AIDS, right? So the thing is a risk for infectious disease. So then I turned to the Cambodia friends, like a couple of general friends, and it's the same thing happened. They asked me, how much is it? I said, well, $8,000. They say, where are you from? I say, it's from the kids on the street. They say, no, they're not going to do it, okay? So we didn't succeed in making any money by doing this. Okay. So with that background, so we begin to think, as a chemist, how can I simulate the effect of heterochronic pyroviruses in the human body without using the machine and without using the actual 15-year-old blood? Okay. So the original plan is this. Just like during the break, I was trying to get a cup of coffee, right? And the coffee was so hot, the water is so hot, right? So what do you think I should do? What? Roll? No, I can't. So what we do is it's just like what most of you will be doing the same thing. So what we do is this. We use the plasma blood donation. You know, blood donation, you go to a blood bank, right? They told you can remove, for a man, you can remove 500 cc of blood. For ladies, you can remove 250 cc of blood. So how much is 500 cc of blood for a man? Do anybody has any idea? How much blood do you have in your body? Anybody knows? Okay, now you have a piece of paper, right? Now we begin to do exercise, okay? You have a piece of paper and take out your cell phone. Okay? This is important, okay? So write down your weight in kilogram. Your weight in kilogram. Believe me, do it. You won't regret on doing this calculation, okay? Your weight in kilogram. So I will give you an example for a 65-year-old. Oh, okay. Weight in kilogram. So next thing is you divide it by 13. So you get your blood volume in kilogram. Does that make sense? So if it's a 65-year-old, if you are for somebody who is 65 kilograms, divided by 13, there will be 5, right? So that's the whole blood volume for you. Anybody, if you don't understand how to divide by 13, tell me, okay? Okay? So now, you need to do this. So for example, this is a 65-year-old, so the blood volume will be 5 kilograms. So that's equivalent to 5,000 cc, right? Right? So now you multiply this by 0.6. So this will become 3,000 cc. This is the plasma volume. Does that make sense? So divided by 13 is your blood volume. How much blood do you have? Then you multiply by 0.6. That becomes how much plasma do you have? The yellow part of the blood do you have in your body, okay? So if you ask somebody, go to a blood bank to donate 500 cc of blood, right? So that's donation of what? 10%. Okay? The answer was 10%. Okay? If you go for men, 65 kilograms, go to the blood bank to donate blood. They take out 500 cc. So that's a donation of 10%. Okay? Not difficult, right? So you need to do calculation based on this in the later part of the talk. Okay. So the plan was take out blood, then put in. That was not difficult. So take out. So basically, what we're trying to do is that this coffee is too strong, right? And I pull away 10% of the coffee, okay, and adding something in to make it more suitable for me to drink, right? So taking out blood, this is not difficult. You know how to do it. The question is, what do you add in, right? What do you replace the 10% with? And I told you, since you cannot get the 15-year-old blood, then how can you do it? And some doctors and nurses here, right? Can you tell me, how can you make the blood younger by 10%? So the first thing you need to know is the difference between the young blood and the old blood, right? If you don't know the difference, there's no way you can make the old blood younger. So the first thing we do is we go to the it's a Stanford library. So they analyze about 7,000 proteins on 3,000 people, and basically they have a conclusion like this. These are beginning to get into the core of our technology. So basically, these are 4 types of proteins. One is go down with age. The other one is increase with age. The third type is the same between old and young, right? The third type is between old and young, and the last one is the very rich when you are in the teenage blood, and rapidly decrease after the 15 years old. So what makes the difference are the 2 main types, right? If you want to be younger, so what you need to pay attention to is the harmful protein, which goes up with age, and the useful beneficial protein, which goes down with age. Okay. So far, okay? Okay. If you don't understand, you can ask. So if you do categorize all the proteins in the plasma, then you come up with some of the candidates. So with those candidates, you can begin to compound them using the FDA-approved medications in different countries, okay? So the easiest example is like this, okay? You all heard about albumin, right? Albumin. How is that? Albumin, right? I don't know. You infuse albumin in the hospital. So albumin is about 50%, 150% similar to the blood, okay? For the entire plasma. So albumin is the 50% analog of the plasma. So obviously that's not enough. Then you can, on top of albumin, you can add in some of the IVIG, immunoglobulin. And once you do it, then you have something which is about 73-75% analog of the actual human plasma. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we were analyzing the old plasma and the young plasma and begin to use the current available medication, try to formulate, mix them together, and to test the effect of those mixtures as compared to the young plasma itself. Does that make sense? If you don't understand, then we can do more discussion later, okay? So we studied in actually Kuala Lumpur with Mr. Lu, okay? That's the reason I always tell Mr. Lu, I don't know why, but since about 15 years ago, I met Sihe's auntie, right? Shia, right? Yeah. And somehow, everywhere I go, somehow it doesn't matter what I do. Eventually, I come back to Malaysia. It's very interesting. Okay, so we started in Kuala Lumpur. I think this is Sihe when he was young. Sihe's father, Amelia, right? I think, right? Yeah. And between the 18 and 20, we did a bunch of sessions. Okay, so with that, some of in the beginning, and then we got into some allergic reactions, some of the issues. And so based on those data, we were able to adjust the dosage and to come up with the final formula we are having now, what we are using now. So the next issue will be, what are the treatment endpoints? I think one of the nurses sitting over there, right, just asked me, say, how many times does it take for these procedures, right? So since 2020, we begin to work on the guidelines for this treatment. And this is below are the new materials. Some of you guys probably didn't know, okay? So for the treatment guideline for this type of therapy, just like you're cooking at home, right? You're cooking at home, for example, you're cooking at home. So the soup becomes too thick, right? So you want to make the soup thinner, right? So you pull 10% of the soup out. Now the next thing is that you begin to add stuff into it, right? You add the albumin into the soup. You add a little bit of IVIG into the soup, just like you're adding a lot of maybe soy sauce, maybe a little bit of water into it. And what's the next thing you have to do after you're adding it? You mixed it, and next, you have to do one thing. You have to taste it, right? You have to taste it. So that was the key, okay? Before that, before the 2020, we are basically going by our common sense. I think this is so much water. We have no way to taste the plasma. But by year 2020, we begin to develop methods which can examine the plasma, okay, the taste of the plasma. So these are 6 friends, okay? And the question is, who is the youngest and who is the oldest? Okay, anybody knows? Well, nobody wants to guess. Who is the oldest? Nobody knows? Okay. Now, what I'm asking is, these are their blood. Okay? Whose blood is the oldest? So anyway, I'll give you 5 more seconds to think, okay? So you have 6 people there, right? All of them, you take out some blood. Now you confused. The label is confused. Now the question is, which one is the youngest one? If you can solve this problem, you can come up and give a talk. No, you can't, huh? Okay, let me tell you the answer, okay? So these are many ways you can measure in the age of the human body, right? You can say go by wrinkles and this and that, but that's nothing is correct. So the way to measure the age of somebody's blood or somebody's body is by what? How much hair? No. How tall? No. How much wrinkle? No. How fat? No. How much they can drink? No. How do you measure somebody without looking at the ID? Okay. Do you know? Your name is Jane. Okay. You remember? How do you measure the blood? Okay. Let me tell you. The only way, to the best of my knowledge, you can measure somebody and determine who is younger or older is making a cut. Okay? So you need to cut the skin. So if it's younger people, the wound will heal very quickly. And if it's older, the healing process will take much slower. Okay? That's the way to do it. And obviously, I mean, you don't want to get a cut, right? So why else can we do it? Now, so we designed an experiment, okay? So this is, some of you guys probably know this. The only way to distinguish which plasma is younger and which plasma is older is very based on their activity, based on their bioactivity, okay, to the stem cells. So in other words, if I have 100 stem cells in my hand and I give them young plasma, the stem cell is going to grow. If you are giving them old plasma, the stem cell is not going to grow. Does that make sense? Make sense? Okay. And if you don't understand this, because since I started going to the lab when I was 7 years old, this is my 59th year in the lab. Okay. If you do cell culture, you know about this. You only use the plasma from the young animal to culture the cells. So based on that, we designed an experiment. So we come up with a formula, and this is the human plasma. So we draw the blood from the patient. I can take your blood and process it and go to our lab and let your plasma feed them to the stem cells. And if the stem cell grows very well, means that you are in very good condition. If the stem cell, like this gentleman, doesn't grow at all, means that your plasma is very old. Does that make sense? So we have a way to measure it, okay? So it gets complicated, but anyway. So what we are trying to do is this, okay? The first thing we do is we do some bloodletting, so the bad stuff drop. At the same time, the good material also drop, right? If I take a 10% of your blood, 10% of your blood, then the good material inside and the bad material inside, in the same time, it is going to drop by 10%, right? You know way out, right? Right? So the issue is that you need to add something which is younger than your blood, right? To make it younger, okay? So to remove the old material is not difficult, okay? You just donate the blood, then it drops. The issue is that you need to replace it with younger artificial plasma, which is made of medications. That's basically is what we are doing, okay? So there are about 25 different ingredients, 25 different ingredients in the plasma. So all of them, just like I always tell people, you know, just like cooking, right? I mean, I can give you the same material, same piece of meat, same sauce, all the material there. Then after they cook it, they can get a better flavor than yours, right? I mean, just nobody can duplicate the taste of your mother, right? It's the same story, okay? So that's what we do now, yeah. So it's an intravenous hydrochronic pyrolysis procedure. So we do this type of test consecutively on all the patients. So in other words, in Taiwan from 2020, not in Malaysia, unfortunately, only because we don't have a lab to do that. In Taiwan, every process we do, we take out the plasma, then we go to the lab and test the activity of the plasma with respect to the stem cells. So continue to follow this, and then you get graph like this. This is the guy, after he got 2 sessions and become the orange color, then about 10 weeks later, we repeat the experiment. You can see the effect of the rejuvenation of the plasma can stay. And then this is the longer follow-up, and these are the plasma, activity of the plasma following different treatments. So this graph tells you, if you do our treatment, the activity of your plasma go up. That means that the age of your plasma go down, right? The activity go up. But if you stop it, it will drop to half of it in about 3 months, okay? So that's called the half-life of this technique is about 3 months. So after you get the plasma infusion, the effect will drop by 50% after 3 months. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm trying to tell you. So if you want to get stem cell infusions, okay, you want to get stem cell infusions. So what you need to do is this. If you infuse the stem cell in the beginning, and you infuse 100 stem cells, probably only 3 of them can survive. But after you do our treatment session, couple of them, when you infuse them, you infuse 100 stem cells, the stem cell infused will begin to grow, okay? So you don't need to infuse a lot of stem cells if your body is healthy. But if your body is not very old and you don't have a very serious problem, the stem cell inside of your body itself can serve the purpose of making your whole body younger. Does that make sense? So in other words, if you are healthy, like most of you here, you don't really need to infuse stem cells to your body. All what you need to do is just make the plasma younger, so the stem cell in your body can become activated, okay, to replace the old stem cells. And that's what we do now. So these are the toxicity with the treatment, and these are some of the clinical results. So what we have is just like a vaccination for the aging. So before the COVID-19, most of the people think of vaccination that you get a vaccination when you were a kid. It will last for a lifetime, right? So the COVID-19 tell you the vaccine can last for how long? 3 months, right? But this is almost like a vaccine for the aging, okay? Well, this is what we are trying to tell you, okay? And this is what I just told you about the albumin, the similarity of albumin and the immunoglobulin to the actual plasma. And if you infuse only the albumin, then you don't see any effect of the rejuvenation. So this is what we have seen now. So let me summarize what we can do for rejuvenating somebody's blood. So we separate to 2 phases. One is the intense phase that you do per 5 to 7 vials. Each vial is about 50 cc. Then the maintenance phase, you do it 1 year later. Maybe 3 vials will be enough, okay? Then, and based on individual's condition, we can design some type of cytokine shots, which is a subcutaneous medications. And that can assist in the patient and the client in increasing the material which has very short half-life, okay? What I'm trying to tell you is that based on the material, all these materials which can make your blood younger, some of them can last for 3 months. But some of them can only last for, say, 1 week or 2 weeks. For those short life material, we can formulate a subcutaneous shot. You can do it at home by yourself, okay? So these are some of the cases. These are for stroke rehabilitation. So this guy originally cannot walk, then now he can play tennis. Then this is a diabetic patient. These are originally has a bad kidney, and after that the function of the kidney begin to improve. And these are diabetics. This is our patient in China, and the glucose was 16.5 on the very left-hand side, and after 3 sessions, the glucose dropped to 6.5. And these are the The next one is a 90-year-old lady. And you can see after infuse the plasma, the new hair growing out is a dark color, right? Okay. And this is another one. He's also 90 years old, yeah. And there are many other cases, and if you want to know the details, you can go on the YouTube. You can see some of the discussion on those cases in the YouTube. So as far as clinical trials, and I told you already about the decrease in the progression of the dementia by 70%, increase of the kidney function by about 15%, 15%. These are the immunoregulations, and this is I think the most clear evidence of heterochronic parabiosis. In the beginning, I told you, right, pregnancy is heterochronic parabiosis. So this study shows you if for the mother, for a lady, okay, if the last pregnancy is 45 years old, as compared to somebody whose last pregnancy who is 35 years old, the first one, the one who has the last pregnancy at the age of 45, the chance of her to live to 80 years old is increased by 50%. Does that make sense? Think about this. Baby is 1 year old, right? So if you get pregnant at 18, so difference is smaller, right? So the effects is smaller, right? So when you get pregnant at 45, the baby is still 1, right? So the difference is 20. You average it out, it's 22.5, right? The effects is very significant. So if you save your last pregnancy until later in life, then you can live longer, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, are you with me on this? But, okay, you can save the money of doing this plasma and go and raise the kid, of course. It's your own call, okay? So now, we have four ways in clinical setting you can do heterochronic parabiosis. So the first way is the natural way. Just go home and find a man and get pregnant, okay? And it doesn't cost you anything, but it will cost you a lot of money in the long run, okay? And the second way is you can go to California and try to buy the blood from a college student, okay? 1 liter is about $8,000 US. You can get transfusion in California, okay? You can do that. And the third way is you can get on a machine, okay? And to remove the toxic material and then replace with some IV fluid. But that is not actual heterochronic parabiosis. That only simulates the removal of the toxin, not simulating the addition of the beneficial factors. And the last way is what we're talking about. It's called plasma conditioning. That is, you have a cup of coffee which is too thick, right? So you pull 10% out and adding 10% of formulated plasma, okay? And this is what we call it plasma conditioning. So, and these are the effects of this plasma conditioning. You can increase the virility and you can regulate the immunity and decrease the chronic inflammations and can improve the cognitive functions, improve the renal function and improve the cardiovascular function, etc. So what we are trying to do is control the aging process by using this young plasma conditioning. So to stop people getting into the aging related disease, okay? So instead of treating all these aging related disease, we have a way to stop it before it happens, right? And that's what I told people all the time. If you are sick, go to the hospital, see a doctor. If you don't want to get sick, then you can come to us. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. If you say, big deal, just cut me open, no problem, go. Yeah. But if you don't want to get sick, then you can come to us, and we can help you manage your aging process, and or slow down it, or even reverse it, so you don't need to go to the hospital. Okay. So this is like We don't want to fight the nine-head dragon when it becomes very big. You try to fight it when it's still a baby, right? So anyway, let me tell you a little bit about the future of this technology. What I just told you is what we are doing 3 years ago, 2 years ago, pretty much, okay? So what we are doing is using what we are formulating, we're developing anti-aging drugs, okay? New drug development. And we're doing it, applying the same technology to more types of stem cells. So currently, we are able to do some laboratory testings in Kuala Lumpur for mesenchymal stem cells. So that's good for autoimmune disease and for frailty, weakness, overall weakness, that's good for. And next year, we are begin to implement the technology into cardiovascular disease. We call it EPC, endothelial progenitor cells. That we are doing that in Jakarta, mostly, okay? And sometime we're going to implement the same technology for the natural killer cells for cancer patients. Yeah. And the dream of the scientists in my company and the owner of our company is actually to go beyond what I just told you, okay? So we are trying to do is, we are interested in doing organ restorations. So you know about this, right? You know about kidney transplant, right? You don't get a kidney, right? Except you go to Cambodia, right? I'm sorry, it's a joke, right? Yeah. Anyway, so because the population become older and older, so the donor of the kidney also become older, right? So some of those old kidneys is not functioning very well. So we are trying to use the same technology for different organs, old organs, okay? So these are results, this is done in the States. This is for the old lungs, okay? You can make the lung, which is bad on the left, and after the treatment, the function can be improved. And we are mostly focusing in making the kidney younger. Okay, this is the rat kidney. And this is after the injury, and this is after the treatment, so you can reverse the injury. And some people also use this technology to treat the injured brain. Okay. Now, for the year 2024, we are hoping with this launch of the recruiting agents in Kuala Lumpur, we want to expand our operation to Bangkok and Phnom Penh, things like that. And to decrease the human error, we're also improving our automatic device. So we can do all what I told you using a machine now, okay? So this comes back to what I told you in the very beginning, right? So what we are doing, the only thing I can tell you is what we are doing is scientific. That means that we do have an experiment. We can do the measurement. Then when you come back, we can draw your blood, go to the lab, and adjust the treatment plan, and adjust the material which needs to make your blood younger. And we also are developing something called subcutaneous shots. Like that's what I just told you. You can, for those short-acting material, you need to do the just like injecting insulin for those diabetic patients. So we are trying to, using chemical technologies to make the long-acting material also can be taken by subcutaneous shots, okay? So you know this year, right, what is the #1 drug in the world? Do you know? Semaglutide, right? It's a drug originally invented for treating diabetics, right? So the past year, because it can also lower your appetite. It's a subcutaneous shot. You just need to take it like every 2 weeks, then you can lose weight, right? So it's a similar concept, okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is after we do the initial treatment of blood donation, we can inject the supplemental materials into your body just by taking home shots. You don't need to go to doctors getting infusions anymore, okay? So we call it subcutaneous hydrochloric parabiosis. It's coming up. Anyway, and at the end, I just want to tell you, this is a book about this technology. It's a little bit old now. I published this about 3 years ago. But it's good enough to go through some of the basic material. It's in Chinese, and it's also in English. If you're interested, you can get one of them outside, okay? And these are my notes for preparing this talk. At the end, okay? Let me tell you this. So, on the left side, tell you is the function of the stem cell is higher when you are young. The black line, right? And for the black line on the right, that means that the number of the stem cells, all the stem cells increases. The number of the young stem cells decreases. So the green line that means that we remove the old material, the inhibitory material, by donating blood or bloodletting. And then after that, we're adding into some of the artificial compounded plasma to make it younger, okay? And this is the end of my talk, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pan, for such a wonderful sharing. I believe it's very informative, very innovative. I believe after 10 years I heard about Dr. Pan's speech, it's still very baby stuff for me. So before I open the mic to all of you for questions, I just had a quick revision. So basically, young blood, I mean, please, to anti-aging, the message for you today is aging is the main risk factor that causes most of the chronic disease, okay? And aging, according to Dr. Pan, it's not genetic. It's determined by the environment. So it's determined by the blood. But is it caused by the good proteins, good stuff, or the bad stuff? Good protein or bad protein? Apparently, it's not the good protein, but it's determined by the aging, the pro-aging protein, so which means the aging, the blood environment. Okay. So take a deep breath. I would like you guys to participate. Please, because Dr. Pan will be here until next year or a couple months later. I want you to ask your question, doctors or nurse or any one of you. The floor is open right now. Anyone? We have a lot of time.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ping. Can I know what is the composition of your plasma conditioning, or do you need the plasma conditioning equivalent to albumin?
That's what I told you. The plasma is made of about 20 different materials. Okay, albumin is one. It's like the base of the soup. Okay, albumin is the base of the soup. So you need to add in a lot of different medications into it. Yeah. So you have some of the hormonal factors, some short-acting oxytocins, and some of the differences. Yeah. If it's included. It's all included. Yeah. It's formulated. Formulated means that, how do you call that? It's just like you go to eat this how do you call that? Instant noodles, right? You have this bag of spicy stuff, right? And that's we call it the complement of the plasma. Yeah. Am I answering your question? I hope.
We would like to know on behalf of patients, they will surely ask, what exactly inside? What exactly like ingredients inside that actually determine as a young man? At least what are the common, what kind of hormones, what kind of immunoglobulins, what kind of amino acids, what kind of growth factors are commonly already scientifically proven that present more in young blood and not in the whole blood. Now, this is something probably help patient one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, what I just told you is about 20 ingredients inside. Yeah. So the plasma will come with a prescription. Will come with a prescription. Will listed all the materials. That's what you just said. But this is a personalized formulation. So you have albumin, you have immunoglobulin A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C, gamma, right? Then you have some of the microtubulin, some of these issues. Does that answer your question?
Can I get it this way? Means that if a patient wanted to do this treatment, means that they need to send the blood.
Yes.
Check.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
cell viability.
Yes.
And in your labs,
Yes.
you will formulate the ingredients
Yes.
according to the blood response.
Yes.
Then the patient will do that.
Yes. Yeah. So everybody is a little bit different. Yeah. But for men and women are different, right? Yeah.
So the details of the treatment, you will need to let the patient know that's how we're going to carry out.
It's all, we have a SOP already. Yeah, that's what I told you. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, it will have a SOP about it. I can, you can see it's very rushed. Yeah, yeah. But basically, what the purpose of today's talk is just give you some concept about what we are doing. Okay. And if you are interested in working with us, there's two ways you can work with us. One is you can refer patients to us. Now we can arrange them to different clinics, okay, to work with us, which work with us. The other way is that you can just tell us you want to collaborate with us. Then we're gonna have people. We're gonna have people to talk with you and try to do the training sessions for you, which is not including for today. Okay.
Dr. Pan, I would like to ask a question on behalf of attendants today. So some of the audience today they have been inject like the so-called stem cell, and then when the physician actually tell them that it's like for brain cell it's a one shot, or kidney cell it's a one shot. This kind of concept is it from your knowledge, from your experience and approach? Can you tell us about this?
No, it doesn't work like that, okay? Because it depends on what type of stem cells, right? The stem cell for the brain, the stem cell for your heart, and the stem cell for your bone is all different type of stem cells. But right now, everybody is infusing one type of stem cell called mesenchymal stem cells, right? And those stem cells, if you obtain those stem cells from the fat, and then the diameter is very big, it's about 40 micron. So after the infusion, the stem cell only go to the lung. It doesn't go to any other part of the body. So what you are saying is that if you want to using one type of stem cell for different problem, it doesn't work like that. Okay. So in the end of my talk, I told you we realized the situation. So the formulation, what we are trying to implement is becoming cell type specific. In other words, that if you have a cardiovascular problem, then we need to do the whole things using the cardiovascular related stem cells and try to optimize the formula for them. And if you want to have increasing your cognitive functions, then we will formulate using your plasma and to do the test with neural stem cells and to try to formulate the plasma for you. Everybody is different, okay?
One more question. Okay. Nowadays there are more stem cells treatment being done, and there are more studies showing that stem cells may accentuate some risk of cancers by stimulating the cancer cells. So as your treatment here, they actually stimulates the stem cell growth by conditioning the plasma. Will it also relate to the cancer risk?
It is a good question, okay? Because everybody worry about this. The issue is that's the reason we're doing more cell type specific. cell types specific. We don't do it a lump sum type of thing anymore. Yeah. You know, the formulation is only good for cardiovascular stem cells. So we try to separate them from the common cancer-inducing stem cells. So the risk is very, very, very low. Yeah.
Okay. In this sense means if a patient has a particular disease, let's say diabetes, would your conditioning target more towards that?
Yes, that's what we are doing now. Yeah. Originally, this was just one technology for aging, quote unquote. But now we are gearing towards most disease specific. Yeah. So it's much safer. Yeah. I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Incompatibility. No, it doesn't happen, yeah. Okay. What people know about the whole incompatibility is like an ABO group type, right? Our treatment do not increase in any cells, so you don't have any risk of rejection and things like that. But just like any other medical treatment, it's always a slight chance of allergic reaction, and which you can manage with some pure prophylactic antihistamines. Pardon me? Not anaphylaxis, no. Not really, yeah. We've been doing this for what, 6 years by now, yeah. So no anaphylaxis, yeah. No, you do have contraindications. Like for somebody who just recently diagnosed with cancer, you don't want that, right? But for terminal stage cancer, yes, this is okay. But for people who is active cancer, we try to avoid them, yeah.
Any more technical questions?
Yeah.
The patient may compare, let's say, the conditioning way of doing it compounds certain kind of nutrition. Then patient will say, what's the difference compared to those supplements that you're taking? Like you take multiple supplements, hormones, all together.
Yeah, I think, you see, it's like most of the protein material cannot be absorbed by mouth, right? Proteins, if you take some protein drugs, it needs to go by infusions only. So the supplements are usually just for like vitamins, all those non-protein, non-cytokine type of material. If you can take it pure, nobody will want to do it by infusion. So it's totally different spectrum of materials we are doing. Okay, make sense?
What I mean is those infusion of vitamins compared to this.
No, but vitamin is just one type of this. What you're talking about is just I want to cook a soup, I just put salt into the water. Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah. And the other thing, you probably realize that we don't want to take anything pure because the absorption rate it's not chemical, it's medical. You take something by mouth, it's just medical. You take something by infusion, it's scientific, right? You can measure the concentration, everything go by the measurement. Taking pure, it's just a guessing game. Yeah, we don't do that. Yeah. Patterns, yes. We have some patterns, yeah.
A sure percentage of assurance of results. Do you have any particular percentage of results, particular disease, this or this?
Yeah, that's what we are trying to do because that's what I show you. That because a lot of it's case studies, but we still need to accumulate more and more data, something like that. Yeah, but some publication is coming up. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Can you do this treatment in clinic in Malaysia? Yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
So it's permissible by our local Ministry of Health.
No, we use the current Malaysia approved medication to compound it for you. Yeah. It makes sense? You have to compound it by yourself. Okay. If you're a doctor, right, you want to give people 3 medications, right? You want to infuse 3 medications. One is IV glucose. You want to get IV vitamin. You want to get IV like glutathione, okay? So you can compound it. Compound it is you're right as a physician to mix it in a certain percentage and reinfuse it. But you are not allowed to infuse some new material, okay? Does that make sense? Pardon me? It's a pharmacological procedure, yeah. No human derived, no. Yeah, it's all medications. It's all, the plasma is made of medications.
How do you monitor the efficacy of the treatment? The efficacy, how was the result? Do you actually objectively withdraw their blood to check certain markers?
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do that. But it's just like, you're a doctor, right? Every patient is different. I mean, say if it's diabetic, you check the diabetic profile, right? Maybe somebody has cancer, you check the cancer markers. So everybody's different. We don't have time. This is a agent talk. It's not a medical talk. If you're interested, you can contact me. Yeah. I can talk to you more about medical issues.
Yeah, for all others of you, do you have any like operations concern or the perspective of business? Actually, do you have a question for us? How about you, Dr. Chan? Okay, for you. Any concern for you? You have been waiting for this session for so long. Yeah. Okay. If that's the case, thank you, Dr. Pen.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, my family and friends, really, no more questions? Okay, Dr. Chen. That's not something about autologous and allergic. For example, the blood withdrawal is to dispose or send to the lab for the screening. That's not going to be infused back into your body. The dispose the blood is actually to reduce the bad protein in your body. No. But to infuse back the replenish the good substance in the blood is compounding. What Dr. Pen just shared is a compounding from the lab. So there is no the patient cells or substance from his blood or nothing. It's not like plasma pheresis or the previous conventional plasma exchange, which you after you refilter the blood cell and then you infuse back the plasma. That's a different concept. The real name of this treatment is called plasma conditioning.
Yeah.
Young plasma conditioning. So we are not just reduce the substance, the bad toxin in your blood, but also to replenish the good proteins, to make your body not only cleaner, but younger. Advertise. Can we properly advertise? Yeah, if you believe the science, if you believe in the technology, yes, I think we do. I mean, we have our own protocol, our channel stuff. Okay, just like stem cells, we do infuse stem cells. But stem cells is there a chapter, the law, the actual act regulation. Yeah, that's the same. Actually, we are science, okay, we are trying to solve problems. We are not to try to give more problems. So we are trying to solve problems. But eventually, I believe the authorities will establish more regulations. But we are the pioneers, and we are there to exist, and we are because we're industrial players. So we will, no problem if there's a Okay, thank you everyone for attending the seminar today. I really appreciate. We have been preparing this for months. And also thank you for the pen to fly all the way back from Jakarta to Taipei and straight away come to KL. Okay, most of you actually, because I didn't have a screen today, you see outside of the school that we have a QR code. Okay, so the QR code is for agent enrollment. So just please scan it. I know some of you are doctors, some of you are nurses and business partners. Please scan it so at least we have your data, we know who attended today. And you can, because after you scan that and become our agent, I mean, not officially, but we need to sign the NDA. We have a non-disclosure agreement before we can disclose more, like marketing plan, business plan, the cost, sales structure, commission structure, or B2B structure. And we have some videos, some marketing brochures, materials, which is all online. It's all in the e-copy, e-soft copy. We want to share with you, but please help us by scanning the QR code. So once we have your data and as the NDA is executed, we can release all the data just to protect you, protect us, protect the patients. It's our company protocol. Okay, everyone, thank you again very much. I'll be around. The floor is open. We will have this event all until yeah, we have another 2 hours here, so feel free to stay around. Okay, thank you very much.
你会办那么久，这种什么 speaker 这种东西真的不应该有这个问题，他根本没办法讲，会疯掉的，真是。
对啊，这个。
哎，是，好久不见，那这个好不好？
有变啊？还是
那个还好了，还好了。
好，我们先
但是，跟他可以跟他签个
OK，
签个名。
啊，一个是我的，一个是要送给
哦，
好朋友。
好。
来
Your name？ 名字。
Philip One。
你写一下。
哦，我的名字。
哦，对不起。哦 ，OK。
Philip One。
签，可以啊。等一下，你翻译是签完。
你像你讲哦。
对啊。你可以讲华语吗？他是台湾人。
非常棒。
看这个，
好不好啊？手里。
那个是
那给谁？
可以，
不用讲，一样名都可以。
一样就好了。